We want our dogs to express their personality and thrive. We want them to explore the world with us while still keeping them and everybody else safe. So, how can we do that? We can't just unhook the leash and see what happens, right? So, we need to create the environment we need. And today, we'll see how we can do that. First, you need to know if you have a fearful or reactive dog, or if you have a happy-go-lucky social butterfly. They do have very, very different needs. Sounds logical, right? For fearful and reactive dogs, of course, we need to put their well-being first. But we have a huge advantage here. Whenever we do put their well-being first and we keep the distance they need in mind and all those things, at the same time, we keep the general public safe, right? Because we are keeping our dogs at a safe distance automatically. Now, for social butterflies, that looks a little differently because those dogs usually want to greet people, other dogs, like everybody, or a lot of other dogs or other people or whatever. But not everybody likes that. So we need to keep everybody else comfortable around our dogs, as well as our dog happy and relaxed around other people. So we need to teach them to relax around very exciting things most of the time, right? And the following guidelines are true for most of the dogs. There will be exceptions, of course, but most of the dogs are really fine with the following guidelines. First of all, we need an environment that triggers curiosity, but is not overwhelming or overstimulating for our dogs. So our dogs feel like whatever challenges arise are doable. And I like natural challenges, right? So things that just pop up. And I like to give my dogs the chance to try out whatever they want to try out. So how can they move their body around an obstacle, for example? Because whenever they get to a solution by themselves, it boosts their confidence. And when I am by their side, providing social support whenever they need it, it strengthens our bond at the same time. So what we do is we give them feedback whenever they ask for it and help whenever they ask for it. So if your dog looks at you somewhat expectantly or looks back at you again and again and again, there is something that your dog wants. Now, you can find out what that is. Sometimes it's just that your dog wants a treat, but sometimes it's also that something's challenging and your dog wants you to be by his side, but we do not want to pressure our dogs. So we are not trying to do like, come on, come on, come on, try out, come on, come on, come on. That only increases the excitement level and it puts pressure on the dog. For shy and fearful dogs, this might just be too much. So just be there, be natural around your dog, and also provide co-regulation. So if you feel like your dog has some kind of temper tantrum or some kind of emotional outburst or is stressed or whatever, be there for your dog. Be understanding. Don't get annoyed. And yes, that's very hard for us humans sometimes. And if we get annoyed, we can take a break, scatter a few treats, take yourself out of the situation, take a deep breath, and then start again. Or even walk back home. If you feel like you cannot overcome this annoyance at this moment, go back home. But if you can be there for your dog, be there for your dog. And if your dog's like super frustrated and can't get to the solution, help your dog and be there for your dog and understand that even a negative emotion is an emotion that just happens. And yes, sometimes negative emotions happen, right? Same thing if your dog gets startled or overwhelmed. Don't try to push through a situation with your dog. If your dog feels the need to go back home, or at least walk a little bit backwards until your dog's able to participate again. All right? And yes, you can talk to your dog during the whole time. You will not reward the negative emotion. That's not possible. All right? So if we stick with rewarding, that's the next tip. Reward, but do not lure. So the difference is rewarding is your dog does something and then you give him something. Luring is you want your dog to do something, so you put the treat in front of your dog's nose and guide the dog with the treat towards something. If you have a happy-go-lucky dog, it's not that big of a deal. You might run into some coordination issues when your dog missteps and falls off something, but your dog will probably not get scared out of his mind. With a fearful dog, that can happen pretty quickly. So always give your dog the opportunity to actually wrap his mind around whatever's happening. And most dogs cannot do that with a treat in front of their face. So rewarding, not luring. Very important point. What we also want to stay away from is no. So telling our dogs that they are not allowed to do something. If we want our dogs to really explore and express themselves and really find their personality, we need to manage the environment in a way that every idea the dog has is okay. Now, this is challenging for us. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I am all, oh, this is so easy. No, it's not, right? We have to watch out for nothing dangerous, poisonous, whatever, being in the environment so that whenever the dog has the idea to chew on something or rip something or whatever, it's not our favorite chew and it's not some kind of poisonous plant, right? So, yes, we cannot be stupid about this. But if we tell our dogs, hey, go around, explore the world, and then we tell them, no, this is not allowed. No, this is not allowed. No, this is not allowed. Then we block the dog all the time. So we kind of screw up the whole experience for our dogs. So again, this is where we need to think about the whole experience beforehand, all right? And we can use management, right? If it's absolutely necessary. So you want to enjoy a nice hike with your dog. You want to let your dog explore wildlife, whatever. And of course, your dog cannot start chasing wildlife. Then use a leash, right? Use a long line so you can stop your dog if it's absolutely necessary and do it gently, right? And if you have to stop your dog's exploration, also provide him with something else. So your dog does not slip into frustration again, because then the whole joy of the experience kind of goes down. So if your dog wants to follow some kind of trail and you cannot let your dog follow that trail, provide a scatter feeding or whatever. So something that's also nice, kind of goes in the same direction, and it stops the frustration before it begins, right? Now, what helped me a lot in the beginning when I started to stop using no is that I substituted no with something else. It's always easier to do something else instead of just stopping to do one thing. So instead of just trying not to say no, try to tell your dog exactly what you want instead of saying no, right? Because no provides no information. So if you don't want your dog to walk further, instead of telling your dog no, tell your dog, come back to me, right? It has the same effect, but it's more information. And it's a lot easier. All right, next point. If your dog likes other dogs or is curious about other dogs, give him the chance to meet friends or meet safe other dogs, right? And try not to push them to play. So don't go like, go on, play, go on, go on, go on. That's pressure again, right? Just let the dogs interact as dogs. It's totally normal for adult dogs not to play with each other. They communicate in a dog way, and it's super, super interesting to watch that. So I want to encourage you to just watch your dog interact with other dogs. It's awesome. All right. So whatever they want to do with each other, except of course, stop fighting, you can let them do. And if you need to interrupt them because things are getting heated or whatever, again, do it as gently as possible, but as thorough as necessary. Of course, we don't want any injuries or whatever. All right. And the same thing goes for humans, of course. If your dog wants to interact with humans, but isn't quite sure about them, choose humans who aren't like completely overwhelming the dog, right? And also allow breaks. If you're doing something with your dog, allow your dog to take a break. Now, if you see your dog getting a little tired or walking away, don't encourage him to come back. If your dog wants to sunbathe, just let him sunbathe, all right? Sometimes dogs just need to lie around and do nothing, right? They need a lot more sleep and rest than we do, so we need to let them do that as well. And it might be a nice opportunity for you to just enjoy nature, right? See what's in your surroundings. Be really present at the moment and feel the connection with your dog. It's in our hectic day-to-day life, sometimes not that palpable, right? But if we take the time and just take a break, we can really feel into that. That's awesome. So you'll see how much your dog will thrive when he gets a chance to just be a dog without having to fit as neatly in our human world all the time, right? Because they have to adjust so much. And if they get the chance to just be a dog once in a while, or as often as we can provide them with, they will become much more balanced, much more relaxed, and much more joyful companions for us. And these moments will boost your relationship as well, of course. And if you want to know what else you can do to increase that awesome bond you have, watch this video.